Welcome back. President Trump touting progress on tariffs after holding more trade talks this week. He says he is confident he can reach a deal with both the EU and China. So should this reassure consumers? Former International Trade Commission chief and business professor at the University of Maryland, Peter Morici, is with me now. Peter, good to see you this morning. So what about this? Right now, there's a 90-day pause on tariffs, right? And we believe that at least 15 countries, maybe more, are negotiating deals with the Trump administration, but not China. And they're about to be hit with 145% tariffs or more, and we're going to be hit with about the same number. So is it true? Do you think there are talks in the works with China? Where are we right now?
Well, from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing, we're not very far along with China, and we're not likely to get an agreement. You know, we reached a deal with them during the first Trump administration, and verbally, and we wrote it down. And then when the Chinese actually focused on it, they walked away. The EU is a different thing. We had ongoing negotiations with them. They have a trade agreement with Canada. And the trade agreement we have with Canada and the agreement with the EU, they're somewhat mergeable. You know, there's some potential there. But the real rub is he wants our allies, so to speak, to align their policies towards China with ours. That would mean they would be ceding to us, you know, their sovereignty to negotiate their own deals. That's an awful tough ask.
Yeah. One of the things that the administration has put out there is their policy or their plan to isolate China. Let's take a look at this excerpt from Politico. It says tariff deals with Asian countries as well as dozens of others across the globe seeking to negotiate with the U.S. will isolate China, disrupt the Chinese supply chain, and threaten to cut the country off from the rest of the world. Is this a good idea? Do you think China will be forced to come to the table if we isolate them?
A lot of the reason that Donald Trump is president and that we are in the mess we're in is because of China. And I think the world could get along very nicely without China. Not immediately, but the reality is there isn't anything they make that is so magical it can't be made someplace else. They subsidize all their exports. They protect their domestic market. We had 2 years of negotiations with them. We thought they were going to unwind this stuff. And then when they focused on what it would mean, they didn't. They view us as a society in decline. They want to destroy American capitalism and democracy. My feeling is you don't do business with people like these. If we could reach good, constructive free trade agreements with our principal allies, and I think it would be just fine. I've advocated huge tariffs on China for some time now, and how to phase them in so it doesn't disrupt our economy too much.
You know, it seems like everything I buy is from China, so I'm happy to hear they can be made somewhere else. But, you know, Peter, one person who's weary of these tariffs is Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. He warned about the possibility of these increasing prices and slow economic growth. President Trump slammed the chairman, saying his termination can't come fast enough and that if he wants Powell out, he would leave. And, of course, the president notes egg prices are down, oil prices are down. Why aren't interest rates coming down?
Well, the reality is other prices are going up, and on average, prices continue to rise. These tariffs were too high on too many different people too fast, too many different countries too fast. We should have just focused on China. If he implements all these reciprocal tariffs after 90 days, inflation is going to get one heck of a boost. There's no way around it. How can you possibly ask importers to absorb 145% tariff on shirts without raising the price of shirts? Now, they're not going to go up 145%, but they are going to go up because the retailers and wholesalers' margins don't have to scale up by the same percentage point. But the scope of these things is too broad. And also, it reduces our negotiating leverage. The Chinese can see that this disrupts us, and they can see that by negotiating in the fashion that we are with our allies, that it's disrupting those relationships. So this kind of plays into President Xi's hand.
Well, we got 90 days. Hopefully something can be figured out before then. Peter Morici, thank you so much for your insights today. Have a great holiday weekend.
You too. Happy Easter.
Okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.